them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Our 7th annual November fundraiser is underway. Fix It Forward Ministry is raising dollars to drive. Now through November 30th, your contributions will be matched up to $45,000. Help us make a difference in the lives of those in need through free car repairs and free vehicle donations. Double the impact at fixitforwardministry.com and click the yellow donate button. Together, we're driven to serve.
Weather and Ag in Focus on WDAY Radio.
Hey, welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus at 1:06 in the afternoon. Welcome and thank you for joining us on this lovely day out there. It is another above normal day. You know, I know a lot of people would like to see some snow, but I don't get sick of saying another mild day. I just don't. Although it would be nice to get a little snow. I'm sure some people want, especially ice. Let's get that ice starting to form for our ice enthusiasts. Bridget's like, no, keep it in the 40s.
Well,
I'm fine with that.
I'm the temperature. It's going to change, right? I'm a realist. I've lived here for 50 years. I understand how the weather in North Dakota works. It's going to happen. Mm-hmm. I am okay if we don't necessarily see a lot of snow yet, because there's always the chance that we can catch up. I do know that we are entering our winter months fairly dry. Doesn't mean that won't change in the spring. Here's the other thing. Mother Nature's going to do whatever she wants. She's not calling me to ask for my vote.
No, none of us actually.
No, exactly. So we're going to take it, right? That's what we got.
Exactly. And it appears that we may be getting to the end of our first LRC cycle, which, good and bad, I would like to see one more potential storm over our area before that first cycle sets, because October started on, relatively, I think we were above normal precip wise, but it was a close call on one of those storms, and the other storm just missed us. So we have promise for the first part of the first cycle, but the second half of this first cycle of the LRC cycle it's been abnormally dry this month. And again, that will bleed into the spring and summer months as well, unfortunately. So we'd like to get ample moisture, and we haven't quite seen it. Again, like you said, it doesn't mean that won't change a little bit. The tracks will fluctuate a touch, but at least the first half of the cycle has been wet. Second half has been really dry. So fingers crossed that we get one more.
And honestly, go take advantage of it. For those who haven't practiced the I nearly fell off my roof situation, go get your Christmas lights up. Don't turn them on until next week after Thanksgiving, but go get them up, get all the stuff ready, because it's nice to do it in a lighter jacket than tromping through snowbanks, which I have done. Yeah. It's not as much fun.
This is true. And I've got a couple neighbors in the neighborhood. They've already got the lights turned on. I'm driving to work in the morning and all the Christmas lights are flashing. I'm like, oh, it's too early.
Stop.
It's too early. We got temperatures out there right now in the 40s. In fact, we're looking at temperatures in the mid 40s out there. And we're going to see temperatures rise a few more degrees, upper 40s to right around 50 degrees, with a southwest wind a little bit on the breezy side. Tonight, clear skies down into the upper 20s and light winds. And tomorrow is the pick day of the weekend. A lot of sunshine, light winds, and highs in the low 50s. You can't get much better than that. And then as we head into Sunday, a few more clouds, still mild, with breezier conditions, highs in the low 50s. And then Monday, we'll see a front enter the area, possibly giving us a few light showers, highs in the 40s, and then temperatures fall off into the 30s and 20s for next week. Looks like a cold Thanksgiving, and that weekend after Thanksgiving looks really cold. Highs in the low 20s. Nighttime lows around 10 above. Maybe a few snow showers, but no widespread snow. No widespread storms at all in the northern plains.
Which is good, but it means that Thanksgiving is not a picnic and you won't be playing football.
Why not? 20s.
Well, maybe. Yeah. You could, run around outside, warm up a little bit. Maybe you're going to need a sweatshirt.
There you go. That'll work.
Yeah.
But if you have any travel plans, I'd say the nearest area that's going to see snow is post-Thanksgiving. That'd be like Friday, Saturday. And that would be Central Plains. So from, let's say, Nebraska, Iowa, northern Missouri, up through Chicago, could see some snow Friday, Saturday. But other than that, we're good to go. Just cold, and we'll take that.
Just cold.
Yeah, just cold.
Put on a sweater. We can live through it. I mean, and okay, in the 20s, this still isn't the worst it could be, because we know that in the new year, February, there's some really cold snaps that swing in February.
And when this pattern cycles back, and the reason we're only in the 20s is there's lack of snowpack in southern Canada, not much at all. Now, when this cycles back around, let's say in cycle 2 of the LRC, and we get this cold dump of air coming in, more than likely there's going to be more snowpack at the time. And that will lead to more intense cold when this comes down the second time around. So,
speaking of missing snowpack and so forth, Dean, I have some things for you, Mr. Meteorologist.
Let her rip.
Okay, without the snowpack, do you think we'll see a bunch of fog, or are we less likely to have fog this time of year, and why? And then I have more fog questions.
Less
I'm
likely.
all prepared today.
Less likely.
Less likely.
Yes.
Okay. Now, do you know where is the foggiest place on Earth? Because I have found out that I do.
Ooh. On Earth.
Uh-huh.
Ooh,
well, I didn't ask for Mars because I don't think you've been there. So
let's see.
You're going to need that sounder a lot today.
I know. I'm going to say, give me an area of the globe. Give me a hint.
Canada.
Really?
Somewhere in Canada. Mm-hmm.
Wow. I've no clue.
Okay, so according to this, and this is from the weather almanac that I'm holding in my hands. So, it's not the LRC or anything, but it's helpful. Okay, so it says the foggiest place on Earth with more than 120 days of fog per year on average is the Grand Banks near Newfoundland. That's because the northern Labrador Current meets the warm southern Gulf Stream, creating sea fog. Had you heard that before?
That makes sense.
Okay.
Wow.
Cool.
Interesting.
That was something I didn't know, and now I'm testing your meteorology schooling.
And I bet a lot of that is frozen fog as well.
Oh, I think things would get really covered in ice at that point.
It would be beautiful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Unless you're the guy who's got to move the ice.
This is true.
Fair enough. Have you ever heard of valley fog and what that might be?
Like, is that like out in like California in like the valley or something like that?
Right, and it's got pink hair and spikes. Got it. Yeah, no.
Yeah, valley fog.
Okay,
yeah, you'll get. So what happens a lot of times? This will happen in any time of the year. Not so much summer, but it can, where you'll get cold air drainage into a valley, and your temperature meets the dew point in that area, and you get it's a very shallow layer of valley fog, if that's what you're talking about.
So the dew point has to be what influences, right? Because this talks about a moist environment. So it's got to be that dew point carrying the moisture. Okay. And apparently can last for several days during calm weather, which we had a lot of fog.
We did
this summer, if I remember right.
And I believe, what's the old wives' tale? The number of foggy days you have in August portrays the amount of storms you'll have during the winter. Is that correct? I think that's correct. Or count 90 days from the day of fog and you'll get either rain or snow. Okay.
So,
and I did count.
We if we base that on it, we might get a lot of moisture at some point.
Well, you would think, yeah. So, but again, that's an old wives' tale, and that's not That's not the LRC. So.
It is. It is. But I'm an old wife, so I tell that tale.
You're not. You're far from old. Because if you're old, then that makes me older. So yeah, no.
I didn't want to bring it up, but we are putting some guardrails around your chair for when you get up from your desk, so you don't fall down.
Thanks.
Anytime. Glad to help.
What else? You have any more?
Well, the other thing I do is pea soup. Is pea soup fog green? Does it actually have a coloration to it?
No.
Or, okay. Yeah, it looks like it's just murky from what's in the air around it,
Very
perhaps.
thick. Yeah. When somebody refers to pea soup fog, it's super dense. Visibility is, maybe a couple blocks. I mean, it's super dense, near zero visibility fog. A lot of people refer to that as pea soup fog.
Okay. Does fog always burn off in the sunlight, or can you keep fog around throughout most of a day? I mean, maybe I don't live in a place that's got near enough moisture in the air.
In the fall, it's typical to keep that around. The higher the sun angle is in the sky, the more apt and easier it is to burn off the fog. So the lower the sun angle gets, let's say in the fall and into winter or early spring, you're less likely to burn off that thick fog in the morning. And sometimes it can last all day, especially if winds are light. If you have stronger winds, although I've seen strong winds usher in, it's called advection fog. And what happens is you can have a thick snowpack, and you'll get warm air overriding that snowpack. And as that happens, you'll get that advection fog even with the wind. But that's usually the only time you can get a thick fog with wind, is if it's advection fog. But you'll get that in the winter quite a bit. You get that warm southerly wind, southerly air dragging in moisture from the south over a fresh snowpack, or even old snowpack, and you're gonna get quite a bit of fog. So interesting.
Okay, well, so far we've really been testing your meteorology, but I'm going to okay, I'm going to leave you with one thing before we take our checkup with news. But I'm going to leave you with one thing here. Okay. This is a little story. 1942
about a man named Jed.
No, he got oil. This guy's different. Okay, so 1942, the FBI apprehended a German spy on Long Island. In his pocket, they found the Old Farmer's Almanac. He had it. He was using it for weather forecasts and tide times to try to determine when to come ashore from the U-boats. Concerned that the almanac's weather forecast might aid the enemy, the government asked that the forecast be called weather indications, and it was after World War II that they resumed in their usual comprehensive format.
Interesting. That is awesome. Yeah. Well, weather played a big part of World War II on D-Day and just the bombing raids. And, without a doubt.
Absolutely. I mean, we could talk about so many different instances in World War II where the weather, good or bad, affected what was going on for the Allies as well as, for the Axis powers. And it wasn't always fair to either one.
Right.
That's
for sure. Well, we're at 1:17 here in the afternoon, and we're going to go to American Ag Network. When we come back, we'll have more topics, more ag topics. We're also going to announce, Bridgette, our winner of the Build Our Bushels contest as well. They're going to get a nice Steiger tractor and a rain gauge as well. So we'll have that and more when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
Cattle trading mostly higher ahead of Friday afternoon's Cattle on Feed report. You're listening to the American Ag Network. I'm Jesse Allen with this market update. Well, we've seen cattle trading a bit higher here on the day Friday. It looked like we kind of overdid it to the downside on Thursday, so gaining a little back here, heading into that Cattle on Feed report coming up later on Friday afternoon after the close. There's an expectation for a pretty high placements number, and that's something that traders are going to be watching closely, and that will impact our trade action as we get into next week. Bulk of business done in feedlot country. It looks like a little cleanup here and there, though not out of the question yet this afternoon. Asking prices for cattle left on show lists around 180 plus live, 284 dressed. Southern live trade mostly 178 this week, $2 to $3 lower than last week's weighted averages, while northern dress transactions mostly 282, pretty steady with Wednesday's business, but $4 lower than last week's weighted averages. We look over at hog prices and trends, steady in Dorchester, Wisconsin, barrels and gilts at 60. Red Oak, Iowa trend is about one lower with barrels and gilts at 46 here this hour. I want to take a look and see beef cutouts as well. Get those pulled up here. Those are down 94 cents in choice at $293.78. Select, though, is up $2.21 at $269.86 per hundredweight. Pork cutout values down $1.21 at $84.97. You're listening to the American Ag Network.
The North Dakota Crop Improvement and Seed Association is leading the way, empowering farmers, granting them access to revolutionary genetics. Our mission is to equip farmers with state-of-the-art seed varieties with proven robust agronomic traits, including high yield, ideal test weight, rich protein content, and formidable disease resistance. All the while, we remain committed to preserving superior end-use quality. Witness the future of farming unfold at ndcropimprovement.com.
Just got easier with Lalfix Start Spherical Pulses from Lalaman Plant Care. Get increased nitrogen fixation and phosphorus availability for any pulses you grow. Its high porosity granule provides improved handling and accurate metering, so it's easy flowing and virtually dust free. It's the only inoculant you need. It's Pulse Perfect. Contact your Lalaman sales representative today.
Let's take a look at some of the numbers on the board here. December live cattle up 115, 175.90. Live cattle for February up 145, 176.77. January feeder cattle 145 higher, 228.95. December hogs down 10, 71.37. February down 2 at 75.60 here this hour. Crude oil up about 3%, 75.75 a barrel. This is the American Ag Network. I'm Jesse Allen.
Weather and Ag in Focus on WDAY Radio.
How dare you! I want a bucket of chicken!
Hungry for chicken because you're getting turkey next week, Dean?
I think so. No doubt about it.
Time for the poultry parade to begin.
Oh,
nice.
Gotta love this time of the year.
Well, okay, there's a ton of stuff going on. This is sort of our giving time of the year, right? You get to the Thanksgiving, Christmas time frame. People find their ways to the end of the year, and they're probably, as farmers, we're looking at the end of harvest and tallying up what was profitable, what wasn't, and people are starting to think about their giving. And one of those ways that you can give is pairing up with Legacy Plumbing for their Warm Heart, Warm Home promotion. And if you know someone in the Cass or Clay County area who is interested in needing a new furnace from Legacy Plumbing, it is time to go to our website, WDAY Radio Now, and click on the Hot Links button so that you can nominate someone who indeed needs a furnace and needs a little extra help during this season of giving. So please go check that out. Write down the nominations. We're looking forward to seeing who will be getting that furnace from Legacy Plumbing. That'll be a great little item for those who need it most. And more things that people might need while you're out there Christmas shopping. Don't forget about that WDAY Steiger tractor. You can do a lot of things on our website. You can click on the Hot Links button and it'll take you to the Lamar's toy store, and you can call them directly. You can go ahead and order your Steiger tractor. They're numbered sequentially 1 to 150. They are 132nd Steiger Cougar 4. They're the KM280. They have duals and a 3-point hitch. They're in the iconic Steiger Green tractor. And they do indeed have my signature on it. So something different if you're looking for that toy collector in your life.
That's worth more than $140 if it's got your signature on it. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, thank you, sir. So speaking of those things that are worth something, we ran a little promotion last week, if you recall, Dean.
We did.
We had finished our custom farming of 20 acres, and we wanted to have others help us build our bushels going into the donation for the Great Plains Food Bank. And so that fellow who donated the most, who's going to be receiving your rain gauge and one of the Steiger tractors, is John Severson from West Fargo. So thank you, John. We're very excited to have you a part of our group and helping us to build our bushels. Yes.
Congratulations, John. And any way we can get John on the phone?
I will see if we can find him, but I think John's actually probably if he didn't get his prizes last night, they're like on the way to him pretty soon. So hopefully he's listening. And if he is, he can certainly call in. That would be great.
Yeah, 701-293-9000. That's 701-293-9000. Congratulations, John. And, if anybody isn't familiar, we were doing a Build Your Bushels contest, as Bridgette was saying, and whoever donated the most, and it goes to the food bank for a great cause. So I want to thank John for his donation and congratulations. And I wonder if John is going to give that Steiger tractor as a gift, or if he's going to keep it.
You just never know. That's a pretty cool gift. But as a kid, so I remember my dad collecting toy tractors, and so my brothers, myself, my sister, we all have some. In fact, I could go get my big yellow Ford off the shelf and hold it up for you if you'd like. But there were certain things that had to stay in the box. Dad didn't want you to play with those. They were actually pretty neat, pretty collectible, and they meant something special to him. So had to leave them in the box.
Now, is that why he wanted them to stay in the box because he knew they'd be worth more money down the road?
That, and I think there were a couple that just they personally meant something more to him. So he's like, okay, listen here, you little grubby fingers, keep off them. Stop touching all my stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
If you have four kids at home, I'm pretty sure we were an invasion of privacy in everything that we did.
Right? Exactly. Now we're talking about Thanksgiving meal prices compared to last year. They have come down a little bit.
They have.
What's dropped the most?
So first of all, I want to preface this by saying when inflationary costs are calculated, food and fuel is not taken into account. Well, first of all,
that's what you spend most of your money on. That makes sense.
Exactly.
Jeez.
Yeah. Why in the world wouldn't you count those? But what probably is the biggest star of the show for Thanksgiving happens to be, well, the turkey itself. And currently, year-on-year turkey prices are down about 5.6%. Now, don't forget to add your coupons and buy it on sale, and you can do even better than you did last year for your turkeys. But right now, as we look at the overall, if you were feeding 10 people for Thanksgiving, your cost would be down about 4.5% year on year for Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah,
10 people strolling to my house, half of them aren't going to make it out.
So, do you need me to get you some recipes, Dean?
Yeah.
What are you doing to thaw that bird?
I'm not cooking for Thanksgiving. Not this year. No.
Did you know that Butterball has a hotline that you can call for help?
They do.
Cooking?
Every year.
They do.
Yep.
Have you heard some of the stories of calls they have gotten that were concerning?
I can only. Let's hear some of do you have them handy?
I don't necessarily have them handy. These are ones that I've read over the last few years.
Okay.
One caller was concerned because they wanted to thaw the turkey a little more quickly than expected, and it was a nice day out. So they put it on the roof up against the black shingles, but then they forgot it. And they couldn't remember how long it had been up there, and they didn't know if it was safe to cook their turkey or not.
Wow. Man,
so that's my favorite.
I would love to hear some stories like that. What's your craziest turkey story? 701-293-9000. Also, I would like, we'll open up the phone lines too. What's the cheapest turkey prices that you've seen at your local store? 701-293-9000, because a lot of people, this is probably the weekend they're going to shop and get the turkey. What's the cheapest you've seen so far, Bridgette?
No. I'll be honest. I have a turkey in my freezer that I'm going to go get out. He'll be the star of the show next week, but in a way that the rest of us won't be, as he sits on the table under melting butter. But then I think I'm going to be doing my shopping this week. And when people call us on the Red Wing Shoe phone line, also include in there, some folks aren't going to the grocery store. They might have that local connection where they're buying directly from someone who farms and are getting their turkeys. And I'm awfully curious what size they're getting and all of that type of thing, because, now is the time of the year, and we haven't had to euthanize as many birds this year as we did a year ago due to bird flu. So our variance in sizes and our selection should be pretty good. And again, if we have slightly less costs, that's going to make people happy as well.
Have you had wild turkey?
I have. Do you mean out of the bottle? No, wait, you're talking about the one with the like flaps and feathers, right?
That would be the one.
I've had both, Dean.
I'm sure. Now, does
But
the wild
a smoked
turkey, the
turkey
one
is
with
best.
feathers, does that?
Okay.
How does that taste in terms of? Is it a little more gamey? Is it a little tougher?
Depends who cooks it.
Okay.
A lot of folks like to brine them to take out that extra gamey taste, if you will. Depends how they were raised, right? Because sometimes they are farm raised and still considered wild turkeys. I haven't exactly gone out and whacked one with a frying pan and the shelter belt to bring it home or anything like that. I'm not quite all Laura Ingalls that way. But I would say, too, I really like them either smoked or in a deep fryer. Please don't burn your houses down if you are using a turkey fryer this year. Please.
Oh,
You can't put
deep fried turkey is so
deep fried
good.
turkey is awesome. Yeah, that's another Butterball hotline thing where people would put the entire frozen bird in a deep fryer and
My
then
garage
it
is
would
on fire.
overrun.
Help.
Yeah. How did that happen? So don't do that,
Right.
please. That would be best.
We have an email that came in. It said, I had a coworker that did something similar with a turkey we got from our employer. They gave out the company turkeys, and since it was below freezing during that time, he just left it outside because he didn't have room in the freezer. He forgot about it until the snow melted closer to the spring, and he found it again. Was it safe to cook? Wow. Oh, man. Probably not. I'd hedge on no.
No, but I can't believe the neighborhood dog didn't find it and just drag it away. Like in Christmas Story when the Bumpus Hounds take off with the turkey. I love that.
And Steve is watching us on YouTube. He said he's got to get his hands on one of those signed tractors from Bridgette. Steve, log on to our website, WDAYradionow.com. Click on the hot links, and that'll take you to Lamar's Toy Store, and you can buy one there.
That would be awesome. And we appreciate the folks reaching out, doing that shopping and so forth. We have more opportunities for you to participate this holiday season in a variety of ways, and they pertain to books. So let's talk about those after we check in with local news. We'll be right back, and we'll talk about books for Christmas.
It's about tradition, values, and family ties. Pucklet Chevrolet GMC's tradition of giving back to our community remains a priority. And that's why we've partnered with many local nonprofit organizations and events. And our tradition of giving this community a fair and honest offer continues. This month, save nearly $7,000 on select new 2024 Chevy Silverado 1500s. We're Pucklet Chevrolet GMC in Valley City. Tradition, values, and family ties.
See dealer for details.
Get ready for a heartwarming experience with Legacy Plumbing and Heating. At Legacy, our mission is simple: to provide the best plumbing and heating experience in town, while also being dedicated to serving our community.
You can make a difference today by nominating a family in need for a brand new furnace thanks to Legacy Plumbing and Heating with the Warm Heart, Warm Home Initiative. Visit WDAYradionow.com today and nominate someone in need.
Remember, life flows better with Legacy. Join us in spreading warmth and love this season of giving.
Good afternoon, I'm Tom Tucker, WDAY News First. Several Cass County residents received a shelter-in-place order from law enforcement related to a standoff at the Old Leonard Cafe.
Around 2 o'clock today, we got dispatched down to Leonard for a dispute between two individuals, a boyfriend-girlfriend type situation.
Sheriff Jesse Johnner speaking about the incident a Thursday afternoon, which ended peacefully and without an arrest. A Minnesota woman is offering $2,500 for any information that could lead to the prosecution of the person responsible for shooting her horse. The horse was shot in the leg last Wednesday night on the family's property near Gatsky in Marshall County. The horse named Parker had to be put down. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Marshall County Sheriff's Department. New questions being raised about the actual cost of Minnesota's new paid family and medical leave law.
This was a really disappointing, but unfortunately not surprising conclusion.
John Reynolds, the Minnesota State Director for the National Foundation for Independent Business, says a new analysis concludes the cost of the paid leave bill will be more than $600 million more over the first 3 years than what lawmakers originally projected. Tom Tucker, WDAY and WDAYradionow.com.
Love is all around during the 2023 Subaru Share the Love event. By the end of this, our 16th year, Subaru will have donated over $285 million to charity, like the ASPCA, Make-A-Wish, Meals on Wheels America, and the National Park Foundation. And Muscatel Subaru is also proud to support Fraser Limited right here in the Valley. Visit muscatelsubaru.com for more details.
West Funeral Home in your difficult time.
Have you planned for all your life's events? At West Funeral Home and Life Tribute Center, we would be honored to have that talk of a lifetime with you. Through pre-planning, we will help honor and celebrate your journey on Earth so you can leave your family a lasting, treasured memory. Discover the difference.
West Funeral Home and Life Tribute Center. Little things make the difference.
If you haven't been to downtown Fargo lately, it's worth another look. With something new around every corner, you are bound to fall in love with your city all over again. Envision yourself in the heart of the energy and visit livedowntownfargo.com to see everything from historic character lofts to brand new state-of-the-art apartments, all surrounded by locally owned shops and restaurants. Visit livedowntownfargo.com or call 701-430-8615 and find a new place to call home in downtown Fargo.
This is Weather and Ag in Focus with Bridgette Readel, Justin Storm, and Dean Wysocki.
Oh, my God!
I wish that didn't make me laugh every time you did it.
How can you not laugh at a screaming goat? Man, I'm telling you. We're going to have a little fun. It's Friday. Oh, by the way, Justin, he's off today. Poor little Sterling, his little boy. He needs to get better. This poor little guy just keeps, he just can't shake what he's got. And now Justin's wife is sick. So thoughts and prayers to Justin's family. Let's get them better. I told Justin, stay at home, dude. No, I mean, stay at home. Oh.
Things are kind of falling apart in their household right now, and we'd like them to fall apart there, not at the studio. Thank you, though, Justin. We appreciate your thoughts of us.
Right, exactly. Hey, Bridgette, let's do we're going to do a little weather trivia with our listeners. I'm going to call this rapid fire weather trivia. If you can answer all three of these questions, we'll give you a rain gauge. We don't have a we better not do a Steiger tractor. We'll do a rain gauge though. We'll give away a rain gauge. 701-293-9000. I'm going to fire off three random weather trivia questions, and if you can answer them, then you have a chance to win a rain gauge. You have to answer all three. I'm just going to randomly choose these questions. They're pretty easy, so we'll take it there. So, all right, first caller is Doug. Doug, welcome to the show. Thanks for calling Weather and Ag in Focus. You ready to win a rain gauge?
Gosh, I hope so.
Okay, let's see. And have you won anything over the last 30 days?
No, sir.
All right. Okay. We'll start off with an easy one. How do you measure? You have to get all three of these. How do you measure the speed of the wind? What instrument?
Anemometer.
Okay, that's one.
Oh, I was going to just say wind meter.
What instrument measures air pressure?
Barometer.
Okay, and let's see. We've got three callers on hold. So if Doug misses this one, then we're going to take our second caller. What does a hygrometer do?
Density of water, liquid.
Oh no. Close, though. You were close, Doug.
Gotta be. Isn't that what you use, though, to tell what the percentage of liquor is?
I love it.
I like where your head's at.
Love it. Hey, thanks for calling, Doug. Appreciate it. All right, phone lines are open. We had three callers. Did they hang up? All right. So they probably figured Doug was going to get this. So, all right. So, again, if you want a chance to win a rain gauge, you have to answer three weather trivia questions in a row here. No Googling. We're going to give you about 10 to 15 seconds to answer each question, so no Googling the answers. 701-293-9000. I know how some minds work out there. That's what I'd be doing. All right, quick Google. What is this? Again, if you want a chance to win a rain gauge, 701-293-9000. All right, we got a caller on line one here. Welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus. Can I get your name, please?
Tim.
Tim, have you won anything in the last 30 days?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so we're going to start off with the question that Doug did not get. See if you can get the answer here. What does a hygrometer do? What does it measure?
How about the depth of the water in the ground?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Tim, thank you for calling. Thanks for listening.
Yep.
Thanks for listening to Weather and Ag in Focus. All right, 701-293-9000. That's, again, 701-293-9000. We're going to do rapid-fire weather trivia here. Answer 3 questions in a row correctly, and we will give you one of our productive alternative rain gauges. These things are awesome. I mean, these are the ones that you can leave outside all year long, although I bring mine in because, they're heavy duty, that's for sure. All right, caller on line 1. Can I get your name, please?
Brian.
Brian, have you won anything over the last 30 days?
No, sir.
All right, so we're gonna start off with the question that nobody's been able to answer yet. What does a hygrometer do? What does it measure?
A hygrometer, it measures relative humidity, doesn't it?
There you go. All right, that's question number 1. Question number 2. What is the name of the scale used to determine a tornado's intensity?
Oh, that is the F scale, the Fujima scale?
I'll give it to you. It's a Fujita. Yeah. It's a Fujita scale. You knew what it was about. So, all right. This
Ding,
next,
ding, ding. You're not pushing the buttons, Dean.
No.
Ding, ding, ding.
Hold on. Let me find it.
Okay.
Right there. Okay. One more. All right. We got one more. And this one's a little tougher. What are the 3 pieces of data that a weather balloon collects? What are the 3 pieces of data that a weather balloon collects?
Oh, that's tough. Temperature.
Yep.
Wind speed and humidity.
Oh.
Dean, you got to decide if you're going to do
Yes,
I'm
going to. Yeah, I'm going to give it to you.
Okay.
I'm going to give it to you. Wind speed was not on here, but you are correct on that. So it was not on here, but that is correct. It does measure wind speed aloft. We have to know what the winds are aloft, how strong the jet stream is and all that. So, Brian, congratulations. You win one of our productive alternative rain gauges, and we'll put you on hold here, and Jacob, our producer, will get all the information from you.
Well, and Brian's out driving. He could just drive right by the studio and pick it up.
Well, if he's nearby, yep, we'll have that downstairs at our studio waiting for you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Brian. You have a great weekend. All right.
Oh, man, when he said wind speed with the weather balloon, all I could think about is that the wind coming off all the candles on the birthday cake? Or
yeah. Well, I should have said this wasn't one of the Chinese spy balloons too. I guess I forgot to put that on there. We could have, could have confused. Yeah, in fact, because the answer here on the trivia was temperature, humidity, and air pressure, but it does also collect wind speed as well. So,
very cool,
very good answer. That was like to keep that hardest one for the last one. So.
Speaking of collecting, Dean, I have a couple of opportunities for our listeners. One of them is called Reading on the Ranch. And I don't know about you, have you been keeping up your subscription to the Fence Post magazine over there, Dean? Maybe not.
Well,
it's a real thing.
Maybe it's a different Fence Post one. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. The Fence Post magazine, along with Tri-State Livestock News, have paired up where if you have older kids' books, so perhaps there's some that your kids read when they were young, but they really aren't paying attention to them anymore, or you just feel like it's time to clean some things out of the house. These 2 companies have created what's called Reading on the Ranch, and so you can donate those gently used books by the end of this year, by December 31st, and those books are then going to be donated to rural communities in the Dakotas, Montana, Nebraska, Wyoming, etc. And this is a great way for some of those small town libraries to increase what they have for children's books. Additionally, they can be used by schools or even homeschools. So if you have books that you'd like to get rid of, you can email me, ag@flagfamily.com. I would be happy to share with you the link where to send these books so you can participate in Reading on the Ranch. And also right here at the station, you and I got to take a little look at a book that's called How'd That Get in My Lunchbox?
That is a cool book. I got one for Bentley. I'm going to take down to him. He will love that.
That's awesome.
Uh-huh.
So these books are available. If you want to call into the station, you can reach us on the Red Wing Shoe phone line at 701-293-9000. We'll put you in contact with the right folks where you could sponsor these books for a second grade classroom. Maybe one of your kids is in second grade and you'd like to make sure that everyone in that class gets one of the books. We can help you do that and then get some advertising out of it as well. So love to have people participate in all of these different ways as we get towards the end of the calendar year. Just one more way to bring ag into our classrooms whenever we get the chance. I think that's worth our time.
Absolutely.
It's a great way to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we're coming up on a break, and I believe, was it Doug that called earlier, wanted us to touch on the 66 blizzard? Was that right?
That was Greg.
Greg?
Greg called earlier.
Okay.
Yep.
So
and he mentioned the 66 blizzard.
So we're gonna take a break right now. Have to pay some bills, and then when we come back, we'll kind of touch on some of those stats of the. If you can rewind, if you were around that at that time, March 2nd through 5th, 1966 blizzard that blanketed much of North Dakota and Minnesota. So we'll touch a little bit on that, and we'll also go over some ag topics when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
Dakota Valley Electric reminding you to look up and locate overhead power lines before moving tall farm equipment. Keep safety first so all will have a safe and bountiful harvest. From Dakota Valley Electric Cooperative, your touchstone energy partner.
Attention service technicians. Border Plains Equipment certified Case IH and New Holland dealers in Stanley and Williston, North Dakota are looking for top-notch individuals to join their team and perform quality maintenance and repairs on all types of agricultural equipment. Border Plains Equipment is a value-led, 100% employee-owned company offering competitive wages, benefits, and job training. If you're ready to work in a great environment with great people, apply at plainsag.com. Border Plains Equipment Inc., proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
'Tis the season for cheer, Shiner Holiday Cheer that is. A Texas holiday tradition from Shiner Brewing is back, but only for a limited time. This beer is brewed with local Texas peaches and pecans, which gives it a slightly sweet taste, a perfect holiday beer, and it's meant to be shared. First brewed in 2010, they found that each year can have a slightly different taste because of the sweetness level of the peaches, and pecans can change slightly from year to year. So pick up some for yourself or as a gift for the holidays. Shiner Holiday Cheer available in your local liquor stores.
The Money Farm knows the next generation of farmers is so important to the future of our ag economy. Today's elementary students will be tomorrow's farmers, ranchers, seed dealers, and ag lenders. That's why we're excited to provide Michael Sturton's second graders at Ada Borup West Elementary with the new book, How Did That Get in My Lunchbox? A story of where our food really comes from. At the Money Farm, we're investing in the next generation of farmers in our rural economy. The Money Farm, your local commodity advisor service across the agricultural industry. TheMoneyFarm.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Arden Beachy, Medical Director at Swanson Hyperbarics. By age 60, half the men in this country will have some sort of prostate issue. Whether it's frequent trips to the bathroom, a decreased urinary stream, or something more serious, Hyperbarics can help with these men's issues. This is done by reducing inflammation, increasing blood flow to the area, and assisting in the healing of damaged tissue from radiation. You don't have to deal with these issues on your own. Call Swanson Hyperbarics today and find out how we can help you.
This is the time of year when we all believe. We believe in joy, like a day of fun at Mall of America. We believe in unforgettable elf experiences at Candy Cane Institute. Wish-filled weekends at Radisson Blu Mall of America, conveniently connected to the mall. Paul Bunyan's ugly sweater and the Yule log shoot at Nickelodeon Universe. And wrapping it all up with a bow at the Holiday Light Show every night. Believe all season long. Start at mallofamerica.com/holiday.
Dakota Valley Electric reminding you to look up and locate overhead power lines before moving tall farm equipment. Keep safety first so all will have a safe and bountiful harvest. From Dakota Valley Electric Cooperative, your touchstone energy partner.
Oh, I love this restaurant. Glad we got a table quickly.
What does that sign say?
Caution, wet floor?
No, right next to it.
If you are 60 or older, you may be at increased risk of serious consequences from RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, compared to adults younger than 60. I didn't know that.
Not all dangers come with warning labels. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about getting vaccinated against RSV today. RSV vaccines, including Pfizer's, are available. Learn more at bewareofrsv.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
This year, Staples will not be celebrating the holidays. Instead, we're celebrating the holiday deals with amazing savings for the holiday season. Save 60% on custom holiday cards, save 60% on custom invitations, and save 60% on custom photo gifts like mugs and calendars. During Staples holiday deals, it's not about the ho ho ho, it's about saving do do do. Save 60% on custom cards, invitations, and photo gifts today at Staples. Ends 12/2. Visit staples.com/print for more details.
Weather and Ag in Focus on WDAY Radio.
I'm still saying that goat is crying for help. I want you to listen closer. Help. Poor
the goat probably did something it wasn't supposed to and is about to get whooped for it, I'm afraid.
Oh, man. So one of our listeners wanted us to talk about the blizzard of 1966, a 3-day blizzard, March 2nd through 5th. Does any of our listeners, I'm sure we have a few, did you experience that blizzard of 66? 701-293-9000. So this blizzard, it began the morning of March 2nd and spread northward by Thursday to all of the state. Only the extreme northwest part of the state escaped it. But let's see. There was, over 70-mile-an-hour winds continued unabated for 4 days. Can you imagine that? I mean, we had 50-plus mile-an-hour wind gusts yesterday. Over 70-mile-an-hour winds, snowfall as much as 38 inches in the northeastern part of the state, and drifts 30 to 40 feet high. Incredible.
So I have a story to go along with this. There was a woman in South Dakota who wrote a short novelette, if you will, about this blizzard. She was in high school, and at the time, folks could turn their yard lights on and off. There was literally a switch on the pole because REA was still a little bit new to the area. I mean, it was only about probably 20 years old, and we got that information. We had Marshall Albright from Cass County Electric on here a few weeks ago, and so you could turn your light on. And she said she remembers that night that the storm started rolling in that things seemed odd, and her dad said, I fear there may be some travelers who are in need of help. So he turned the yard light on. What happened was in South Dakota, it was also district basketball tournaments, and there were people traveling past their farm who just couldn't go any further. They had a bus and several cars pull in. She said during the intensity of that storm, her family's 2-bedroom home held about 40 people.
Wow.
They cleaned out the freezer. They cooked everything they could. Thankfully, they milked cows and had chickens, so at least they could, go out and get fresh milk and those types of things. So they did everything they could to keep 40 people comfortable. She said they played a lot of cards.
I bet. I would imagine. We've got Candace. Yes. We've got Candace on the line from Wahpeton. Candace, did you experience that 1966 March blizzard?
Yeah, I was 5 years old. And I believe that we had to tie a rope from the house to the barn. But what I remember most is after it was over, the drift was so big in the yard that my dad stood on the lowest level. He put my sister on his shoulders. The neighbor girl went on her shoulders, and I climbed off the top of the drift and got on the top.
Wow. Now,
that's awesome.
Do you remember how long was school closed for? It had to be all week. It started on Wednesday. It was a 3-day blizzard. Do you remember?
I don't think I had even started kindergarten yet because I think kindergarten was in the spring for only 6 weeks at that time. So okay. I probably didn't know.
Gotcha. Wow, that's incredible. I love hearing these stories. Well, thank you, Candace. Thanks for calling Weather and Ag in Focus. Appreciate your story. I remember it was the year I was born. Wait, why am I giving away my age? That was not too smart.
Because if not, I'll just text it out later on our Facebook page for Weather and Ag in Focus.
The 67 blizzard that hit in Chicago. And this thing was Chicago is known for 2 big blizzards. The blizzard of 79, I remember that distinctly. And the blizzard of 67 was so bad that my brother was telling me stories on how they got on top of the roof and the drifts were so high, they were up to the rooftop. They'd climb up on the roof and sled off of the roof right down into the yard. He said they were that tall. I mean, so not quite as impressive as a 30 to 40 foot drifts from the 66 blizzard up here. That's incredible.
And it sounds impressive unless you're the people who have to clear the roads or move that snow to feed livestock. There's quite a few stories about livestock producers that their barns were encompassed with snow. And if the barn was totally enclosed, if there wasn't any gap in the snow, the animals could suffocate because they weren't getting enough air exchange in there for the herds.
Right.
So got to be careful about that too.
During that blizzard, 18,500 cattle were lost, 7,500 sheep, 600 hogs, and let's see, there was on a farm in eastern part of the state here, 7,000 turkeys passed. As you were saying, a lot of the cattle just suffocated in the barns, they're covered, couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And the total loss of livestock, and this was back in '66, was $4 million, which that's a lot back then. Can you imagine? I mean, how much would that? Okay, let's Google
now
$4 million.
You Google
in
what that
66,
would cost. The difference would be though what we have now for structure for that livestock and also for tractors. You had a lot of tractors back then that didn't have cabs, and so just being able to get out as the farmer in order to move snow and get to your livestock was really hampered. Now you'd probably have a little bit better advantage of it because you'd have better equipment in that time frame. So just something to think about.
Wow.
And you're looking up the dollar amount, aren't you, Dean?
Yeah. So $1 million in 66 is worth $9 million today.
Oh, so that's well over. That's
so
almost $40 million.
9 times 4, 36 million dollars.
Yeah, at least
Yeah,
start
more
tacking
than
on the
that.
extra
Yeah.
change, round her to 40. Yeah, it's pretty high.
Whew, man, yeah, that's that's quite a bit. That is for sure.
Yeah.
And I believe we've got Steve.
We've had some loss.
Yeah, we got Steve on line one here. He's got a story about the 1966 blizzard. Steve, thank you for calling Weather and Ag in Focus. You got about 2 minutes. Tell us your story.
Well, not the 66, the 96 blizzard.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I was stormed into my house, and I was watching TV, and my house, the snow was all the way over the top of my house. And I'm watching USA Today, and they're showing a cover of the Fargo Forum saying, buried, not dead, but it was my house. And I'm going, did no one call to ask if I was dead or not?
Hey, Steve, I'm really glad you were able to call.
It was like, yeah, it was just, I just totally cracked me up because all you could see was the chimney of my house, and it was way up north Fargo. And it was the top half of the Fargo Forum, and I lost a copy of that, and I can't find a copy of it, and it's just driving me nuts.
Have you gone online or trying to get a hold of the forum to see if
I did a couple of times. It took a little too long than I had at the time, but yeah, I always get a kick about that. Everybody in my family just cracked up over that because it was like I got all sorts of phone calls, and I was like, yeah, everything's fine. And after I had to break out my front door and shovel all the snow into my living room just to get out.
Oh, gee.
Because the door opened outward, so I just ripped it off, and I was like, well, it's got to do what you got to do. I got around to the back of my house. I had a hot tub back there, and I go, all right, well, that thing's collapsed and crushed and all that stuff. Yeah, wow. I started digging it out, and it melted like an igloo.
I bet.
6.5 feet above it. It was solid ice. That was kind of fun. But yeah, that just cracked.
What were the biggest drifts during that storm? Do you remember?
There was one out in West Fargo. We drove out and saw that. There was one out there in those buildings, those steel buildings out there. It was as high as that. They came off the top. It's kind of up where K&K Construction was. That was about 17, 18 feet. Mine was about 11 over the top of my house at 12 foot, something, It was, but it just cracked me up all the time.
That's
buried,
awesome.
But not dead.
Right? Well, maybe somebody listening knows where you can get a copy of that. If you do, shoot us an email, weather@flagfamily.com. Let us know, and then we can pass that information along to Steve. Steve, thank you so much for calling Weather and Ag in Focus. Have a great weekend, man. Wade, we're gonna have to pass on you. I'm sorry, buddy. We are out of time as as we're, we'd have like 30 seconds, Wade. So appreciate you calling. Sorry we can't get to you, Wade, but we want to thank you for that. Quick rundown of the forecast. We're looking at temperatures in the 40s this afternoon. Get ready for the weekend and enjoy it. It's going to be a mild one. Highs in the low 50s. If you have any outdoor chores to do, get them done this weekend. The following weekend, we'll have highs in the 20s. That'll do it for Weather and Ag in Focus. For myself, for Bridgette Readel, our wonderful, talented Ag Director, we want to wish everybody a happy weekend. Get out and enjoy the weather because change is coming next week. Have a great weekend, everyone. Jay Thomas Show coming up next.
You found the perfect person to